Hello everyone, this is Dennis and you're on the Den Electro channel. Today I'll show you how to make a thermostat for a fan installed in a system case. It will only turn on when the computer overheats. I'll use this thermostat circuit diagram. There are plenty of similar circuits online, but I chose this one. Firstly, because I had the parts one needed, and secondly, because it met my requirements. My requirements are as follows. When the temperature in the system case is low, the fan should stay still. When the temperature rises and the thermostat is triggered, the fan will start spinning. And its speed won't depend on the temperature. It will spin at maximum speed right away, and when everything cools down, the fan will stop. The circuit is powered by 12 volts from a computer power supply, but it can be used not only in computers but also in other devices, and powered by voltages ranging from 9 to 15 volts. The circuit is based on the TL431 microcircuit. This is a controlled Zener diode. In idle mode, it is open. The negative terminal is pulled up to the base of transistor Q1, thereby closing it. When the temperature rises, the TL431 microcircuit closes. As a result, the positive potential passing through resistor R4 opens the transistor, and the fan begins to spin. The state of the TL431 microcircuit is affected by two resistors located in its circuit board. The variable resistor R1 is 47 kiloohms, and the thermistor R2 is 6.2 kiloohms. I use a Soviet-era thermistor labeled MMT4B. It's an aluminum tube about 2 centimeters long. Keep in mind that the housing is not insulated and is live. These resistors aren't limited to 6 kiloohms. They can be smaller or much larger. Absolutely any thermistor can be used in this circuit. The main thing is that they have a negative temperature coefficient of resistance. This means that as the resistor heats up, its resistance decreases. If you come across a 2 k-ohm thermistor, for example, you can use a 10 k-ohm resistor for R1. For ease of circuit setup, R1 should always be several times larger than R2. The 3.9 k-ohm resistor R3 is optional here. However, in this case, accidentally turning R1 down to 0 resistance could burn out the U1 chip. Therefore, it's best to leave R3 in place. If you don't have exactly the same resistance, you can use a slightly larger one. Q1 is a bipolar NPN transistor. I'm using the good old KT817G. You can also use a KT815 instead, or any other transistor. The main thing is that they match the specifications. They must be rated for at least 20 volts and be able to handle 1 ampere of current. The gain must be at least 200, otherwise the voltage going to the fan will be very low. A load is connected to the transistor's emitter. In this case, it's the fan. Due to the circuit's design, the full 12 volts won't be supplied to the fan. In my case, it was 10.5 volts. If the transistor's gain is 300 or 400 or higher, the voltage going to the fan will rise, but still not all the way. There won't be 12 volts there. It depends on the transistor's connection diagram. I would recommend a load current of no more than 350 milliamps. Otherwise, the voltage may drop even lower. I'd also note that even when the fan isn't spinning, approximately 1.5 volts are supplied to the fan. In standby mode, transistor Q1 isn't actually closed, but slightly open. The thing is, when the Zener diode is open and the negative voltage is pulled up through it to the transistor's base, a voltage drop occurs across the Zener diode. As a result, something like a voltage divider is created between it and resistor R4. And under the influence of the positive potential, the transistor slightly opens. There's nothing dangerous about this. The fan still doesn't work at such a low voltage. To enable the thermostat to control a more powerful load, the circuit can be slightly more complex. Instead of a fan, you can use an electromagnetic relay operating at 12 volts. When the temperature sensor is triggered, current will flow to the relay coil, which will close, supplying current to the load. However, the transistor must be shunted with a diode. For example, you can use a 1N4007. Without it, the transistor could be burned out by the self-induction pulse coming from the relay coil. Thanks to the limited number of components in the circuit, the board is compact. The dimensions are approximately 1.5 by 2 centimeters. The load here is small, so the transistor can be used without a heatsink. The layout of all the components is as follows. The finished device looks like this. 3 pairs of wires come from the board. One for the fan, another for the temperature sensor, and finally, I soldered the third wire to a Molex connector. This will make it easier to connect to the 12-volt power supply in the system unit. Now let's test the circuit. I'll supply 12 volts from this power supply, and I connected the wires from it to Molex connectors. When power is applied, the fan twitches slightly. When the fan is not spinning, the circuit draws 15 milliamps. When you first turn on the circuit, the behavior may vary. The fan will either stay still or start spinning immediately. It all depends on the position of the variable resistor. Now the circuit needs to be configured. This is how it's done. Slowly rotate the knob of the variable resistor until the fan starts spinning. Now once it starts, rotate it even more slowly in the opposite direction until it stops. Now touch the thermistor. The fan starts immediately. The sensitivity is very high. Also, note that the fan is still spinning. This is because the temperature sensor's housing is metal and accumulates heat well. Continue turning until the fan stops. I lowered the sensitivity, and now I'll try touching it again. Now the fan doesn't start immediately, but only when it warms up well with my hand. I've now configured the thermostat to be triggered by body temperature. When I install this circuit in the system unit, I'll reconfigure it so the fan starts at a higher temperature. The thermostat is adjusted only for a specific voltage. Increasing the voltage doesn't seem to do anything, but the circuit sensitivity actually decreases. If you touch the temperature sensor now, the fan won't spin. But if the voltage drops below 12, the sensitivity will actually increase, and the fan will immediately spin. So if you set this circuit up for one voltage and then connect it to another, the temperature settings will change. In the system case, I'll hang the fan where the CD-ROM drive used to be. There are a lot of holes on the sides, and the fan can be hung using cable ties. The cable ties can be made from soft, thin wire. This way, the fan won't fall over and will also reduce vibration. I'll tape the temperature sensor to the power supply. We need to make sure the fan doesn't blow onto it, so it's located roughly at the back of the power supply. Now, when the warm air warms up the power supply case, the fan will turn on. And when the air in the system case cools down and the power supply case cools down, the fan will turn off. To prevent short-circuiting, I attach 2 layers of heat shrink tubing to the temperature sensor. The thermostat will now respond more slowly. But if things get really bad, you can always adjust the sensitivity. That's all for today. Like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click the bell to stay up to date with new videos, and bye everyone.